Hi everyone, my name is Renee Burns and this is my case study, Who Should Create the School Vision? Alright, so I'm going to summarize the case that we have here. I am Susan Potter and I have been hired as the new middle school principal in the rural community of Lightville, and I am attempting to work with the advisory committee to develop a vision statement for our new school. Lightview Community School District, I want to give you just a little information about its history. It is two rural townships, made up of two rural townships. 60% of the families live on farms, and right now we have two schools, a K through 6 and a 7 through 12. Lightview Community School District has a problem. There is a population increase. We are only 10 miles from a major city, and so we are running out of space because many families want to move in because of affordability and because of new schools. So our superintendent has attempted to solve this problem by having an architect and an educational planner come in, and they come up with three options: to build onto the high school, to build onto both of the schools, or to create a new middle school. And that is what they ended up suggesting to the board. This has caused a lot of divide between our community. We have our large landowners who really do not want the new debt that comes along with this. The other residents really would rather have a low tax increase. So they're more willing to vote for the first and second option, whereas the newer, younger residents with the young families would really like the new school. So the summary continues. There's been 4 months of heated public debate. The school board voted 4-1 to move forward with the new building, and the public vote passed that with a 53% for the new middle school. So here I am. I've been hired by a committee for the principal position for this job. I am experienced. I was an assistant principal at a suburban middle school, and therefore I am an outsider coming into this community without that knowledge of how the community works and their values, and so this is new to me. I have created an advisory committee, and this was suggested by the board and the superintendent. Or my three jobs is that I need to take care of the staffing, the school programs, which is curriculum, extracurricular programs, instructional approaches, and collaborate with the architects and construction managers. So the advisory committee is made up of 4 teachers and 4 parents and myself. We have agreed to guidelines set up already, that it be democratic, that all of our decisions come to a consensus where everyone can live with what we have decided, that we share collective values and beliefs, and we all have the opportunity to suggest and react to elements of the vision. We have all agreed to do that. There has been some discussion on who will be the chair. Many of them wanted me to do that. However, I really wanted someone else to do it, and so Helen Burke has taken the chair position. She is our English and Social Studies teacher, and her brother is on the board of education. So together, Helen and I met to create an agenda. Helen disagreed with my suggestion of a process where we collaboratively work together to create our vision statement. I expressed the importance of collective thinking and developing the vision together, and again, Helen shared her opposing thoughts and shared that she wished for me to do it myself. So the next meeting, Helen shared our discussion, and I recanted how this process should unfold. Dan Kelby, our PE teacher, is part of our committee, and he spoke out about the endless process. If we all speak about our own opinions, that there'd be arguing, and so 2 other parents did agree with him. I tried one more time to explain that this is our school. We all have the duty to shape its future, and one parent did feel comfortable following my suggested process. So a motion was made to formalize Helen's preference for me to draft a philosophy statement. At our next meeting, 7 of them voted for it, 1 abstained, and I voted against it. Helen explained to me that they expected me to lead. All right, so legal and ethical issues. There, at this point, have not had any laws been broken or there's not been a breach of contract. However, there are ethical concerns. There is possible financial harm for the increased taxes. If we cannot make progress with our team, there is potential harm for students and community. Without stakeholder input, there's going to be a lack of buy-in. There's just many terms used so far that are concerning to me. Rubber stamp, mindless robots, autocrat, and arguing endlessly. I'm not happy with that being communicated right off the bat. So we need to rethink this. There's definitely an internal struggle within myself as well. So, to synthesize, the advisory committee must find a way to collaborate and find common ground to promote the future success and well-being of all the stakeholders within the Lightview Community School District. So to synthesize the facts a little bit, we have 1,200 students and it's increasing. Our superintendent has been a part of this process, as well as the architectural firm, educational planner, the school board. Our community is split into 3 groups, and so we're very divided. We have young families involved. The selection committee for the new principal hired me, Susan Potter. The advisory committee for our new school is made up of 4 teachers, 4 parents. It's also known as our Visioning and Planning Committee. Helen Burke is our chair. She is the English and Social Studies teacher. Her brother's on the board. Dan Kelby is also on our team, the advisory team, and he is a PE teacher. And I also would like to focus on the one parent who did side with me. So the place that we are Lightville Community School District. We are between 2 rural townships. 60% of our residents live on farms. Right now our entire campus is 65 acres, and so the 3 sites or the 3 buildings will be on that one plot of land, 2 miles from Lightville, and we are 10 miles from a major city. Our program is currently we have a K6, it's actually a K8. K6, and our building is 22 years old. The new middle school next year will be 6 through 8. And then the high school now is 7 through 12, and that building is 11 years old. We are a public school district, and we are working on the vision statement for our new school. So there are some unknown things that I'd like to draw attention to. I would really like to know the current district vision mission and how it was developed, as well as the other schools, what their vision and statements read, and how they were developed. I'd like to know the demographic and cultural makeup of our community, what kinds of available professional development and funding is available because we're only 10 miles from a major city. So I would think even some team building opportunities for our committee that we're working on right now. We obviously need it. And then I was hired in August, but I'd like to know what month I'm in now, because that would really determine what kind of rush, if I'm needing this vision statement this month, or do we have some time to work on communication and our norms that we want to build as a team. So there's some time if it's only September. So to review and prioritize the information, our inability to make progress has the potential to be damaging to stakeholders and our community. Our success or failure as a team directly affects our students, staff, and community members. If I cannot make progress soon, I will need to communicate with Joe Rawlings, our superintendent, or possibly the board. I would like to collect information from all stakeholders on their hopes and vision for our new school. There is always more to learn about our situation. However, I feel that I can make decisions on how to progress with the information that I have. So I've come up with 5 options. I could give in, just create the philosophy like they'd like me to do. But the problem with that is there might be limited buy-in, and majority of us will not be happy in the future. We won't have a shared vision. Option 2 is to continue to argue, keep strong with my convictions, and see what happens. But there might be some drama-filled exits by the staff or myself. We're really not getting anywhere, so we're wasting a lot of time. Option 3 is to reach out. I could seek permission to share a survey to collect stakeholders' values and hopes for the new school. I could get input from the community. That's a good consequence. That will begin building relationships, and I could learn valuable information for the future. Option 2 is to refocus. Review our guidelines that we all agreed to. Take a break from the philosophy if we have time. Build a relationship. Create the norms. Do some of those introductory things that we maybe missed right off the bat. The consequences of that might be stronger relationships. We could build trust, increase understanding in the way we communicate with one another. Option 5 is to start over. Get rid of the current committee, it's not working, and start over with a new one that will follow my wishes. And the possible consequences of this would be to burn bridges, and I could possibly get fired. So, to evaluate these options, if I give in, going back over here, it's done, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. The problem with that, though, is I have abandoned my own values and beliefs. I have set the precedent that I will give in. If I continue to argue, I honor my values and show strength and conviction, but I'm not getting anywhere, and there's possible harm for our stakeholders. If I reach out, I'm going to get feedback from the community, and that's how our vision statement should be developed. The cons would be possible frustration from my team members. If I refocus, we'll have clear expectations of one another, of how this thing should work. We'd have stronger relationships, maybe time to earn trust with one another, but there might be still some possible frustration with team members. Option 5, start over. I'd have a fresh start, but it's not a good first impression. If I can't work with 8 individuals on a small team, I'm not going to be able to run a building. And I'd already have staff and parents upset with me. So I chose to refocus and reach out. I think there is a lot of power in showing vulnerability, and I think I'd start with that. I would share that I'm here to lead, but I really need your input, and this is a team effort. There's really no rush. If we're in September, let's take some time to really learn from one another. Time to build relationships and trust. Create our norms. Use some of the research out there on how it should work. Collect information from all stakeholders. What can we learn from the community members? What are their core set of values? What can we learn from our students? What do they want? So basically just what can we learn? Get as much data from those surveys that we can. I would also like to go to the very first step. Reconsider the chair as the leader who has been officially tasked with this job. So they were, from the get-go, they weren't sure that I shouldn't be a chair, and I didn't want to be a chair, but maybe that's something I should reconsider. Perspective. Are they just completely overwhelmed? You're saying let's build a vision, but have they seen models of this? Give them a visual. Evaluate other model vision statements that you provide them. It could just be that they're just totally overwhelmed and they don't know how to even begin. I would give them evidence, research that shows what you're suggesting is right. Evidence of your reasoning for this process. So to implement, I think it's crucial that I take leadership of the team. You can take leadership, but still work collaboratively. I need to explain my refocus plan. I need to review our guidelines and say that we've all agreed upon these and we've already broken many of these agreements. Start with the initial decision made, the chair, reconsider, vote. If we need to, maybe we could co-chair together. Team building activities, norms for our team. Can these norms be tied to the guidelines that we already agreed upon? I think it's important to set an agenda for our future meetings, send out a survey to all stakeholders, including students, get that in the agenda, and a collection of survey results need to be scheduled. Collaboration of design should be scheduled within the agenda. Vision statement must be completed promptly by the deadline, and then communication of that vision to all stakeholders dated on the agenda as well. I think it's important for me to touch base often with the Board of Education and district leaders. And then I really think it's important for me to form relationships with the other building leaders for guidance and support. So that is my implementation. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for all the support we've learned from one another so much over this short period of time. Thank you.